Cue the music. Yeah, because this is how it should be, you know?
Yeah.
Just like a normal conversation, you know?
Perfect.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 3 of Big Pick 4, the show where the two sports handicapping, or I should say NFL handicapping, let's not push it. I don't think they could pick soccer with the stupid-ass draws or hockey with the dumbass overtime shootout bullshit. Piece of crap sports setup. But we will pick the top 4 NFL Sunday games to include the guarantees, which are the Big D, Danny guarantee, and the Big B, the guarantee that the show was founded upon, guarantee. Brian.
That's right, baby. The guru.
Oh, and I have to make sure that Brian's not going to screw up the op-tempo of the show with any opening statements. I forgot to ask him in the preamble. So, Brian, any opening statements about competitors or what's going on at the office?
No, I think everything is normal.
Okay, as always, we begin the show with the recap of week 2, which was overall a success, with 2 in the win column, 1 loss, 1 push. Comments, gurus?
Well, that Chiefs pick was pretty dumb.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Chiefs are a college team.
Yeah, right. The Colts, I think, was a good pick because, and, you know, it was the Big O too. But I think that was a good one that we got there. Texans, about to run the Texans train, and well, BKO screwed up on the blower of the week for the Ravens versus the Eagles,
hey,
but it happens.
I can eat crow, man. Michael Vick played well.
It was only a push, so it wasn't a loss. So
Michael Vick played well.
So 2 1-1's not bad. We improved from week 1.
So not only does he pick against the home team, he ends up going down on the pick, which is made for a tough week in the office, I'm sure.
No, actually, that guy's not here anymore, Steve Hinkle. He's not here to bother me anymore.
I want to say on the pick that Ravens line actually moved to a +3, so if you had picked up the bet post-show, you would have actually won that bet. So that was still a pretty solid pick.
It was smart to me at the time. The logic made sense.
But we do have a new love train, which is the Texans. That's right. It's a new love train, folks. Peyton Manning has been dethroned. All right, so there you have the recap of week 2, the overall success of week 2. The recap being that overall we are at 3 wins, 4 losses, and a push. Almost 500 there. A Big D, Danny, comes in with 1 win, 1 loss. Big Brian with 1 win, 1 push. And the Big O at 1-1 as well. So there you have it, your week 2 recap. Now moving on to your week 3 program, beginning with Big Dan's Vag of the Week.
All right, my Vag of the Week this week is Josh Morgan of the Washington Redskins, who cost his team the game by getting an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty at the end of the game by throwing the football at Cortland Finnegan. Now, granted, Cortland Finnegan did some dirty stuff there in that play, but you can't lose your composure and throw the ball at him and get a penalty. And it would have been a 47-yard field goal. Instead, it was 62 yards, and his team lost because of him, which is, to me, I would have cut him after the game. I'm like, that's it. You're done. You just can't do that. You can't hurt your team with a selfish act like that. So he is the Badge of the Week.
That is a good one. That is a good Badge of the Week.
I mean, you can't do that. It's horrible. It's such.
Did you see a Rakbo come on the field and yell at him? Like, as the play was still basically happening?
I mean, you can't screw your team like that. You work so hard the whole game to get to that position to have a chance to tie the game, and then do something that dumb. if I were Mike Shanahan, I'd have told him, get out. Don't come back. Get out after something that stupid.
Yeah, people have gotten kicked off teams for stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do that. You can't put yourself ahead of your team. That's one of the things you learn. That's why you go to do team sports, because you work as a team. And he obviously didn't learn that lesson at all.
So he threw the ball, and then that's what moved him out of field goal range? Was that
it? Player. He threw it at the opposing player. You can't throw the ball at someone like that. It was out of bounds. He threw the ball at the guy, and the official saw it, threw a flag, 15 yards, and ball game. The guy couldn't kick a 62-yard field goal. That just doesn't happen.
What was a sidebar? What was that one college game I saw on ESPN Sports Center where it was like, it was a crazy ending where the crowd actually got penalized for running on the field?
Yeah.
God, I don't know. I didn't see it. I don't watch college sports.
Oh yeah. So, what was that though?
The crowd, the guy was still running the ball. The crowd runs on the field.
BYU Utah.
Yeah, so they get penalized. So then the guy's got an easy field goal and he misses it.
Yeah.
All right, so there you have the Vag of the Week, culminating in the Vaggie Award during the Super Bowl show. So far, didn't we have one winner 2 weeks in a row so far, which is from, that was the man violation.
Yeah.
Something different. Okay, so far we've got Michael Vick, and who were the other two?
I think the officials last week.
Yeah, the officials were last week.
Official, and then the Skins player, yeah.
Yeah.
So now we're going to move on to what you've all been waiting for this week's Big Pick 4 picks, starting with 2 combined picks. First one from Big Danny D.
Okay, our first combined pick is Detroit versus Tennessee. Detroit is favored by 3.5. Our analysis is pretty to the point. Tennessee blows. They've been blown out the first 2 games of the season pretty handily. Chris Johnson, who just got that monster contract last year after holding out, has a whole 19 carries for 21 yards in 2 games, which is excellent. Tennessee is giving up 36 points per game. Their defense gives up 400 yards a game, and their offense is 31st in the league in total yards. Detroit has won 5 straight against AFC opponents. They're getting a bunch of their better defensive players and their running back this week, so they have more firepower. And Kenny Britt's still out for Tennessee. So for all those reasons, I think Detroit has an excellent chance to win this game and cover the spread.
Can I hop on to the Dan's thing? I think it's a very important point about the defensive backs that are coming back. I think there's like a couple of them, right?
Yeah.
That's important because they've been getting killed in the passing game, but now they got a couple of their players back on defense. That should help out a lot.
And it's not exactly they're doing with a good quarterback here either.
Right, Jake Locker.
Jake Locker's a young guy. He's still trying to find his way in the league. It's early in the season. He might be better late in the season, but at this point, it's a problem.
Yeah, and I'll bet there's some people already calling for Hasselbeck to replace him.
Yeah, well, they're
like on the radio stations and stuff.
Well, it's Nashville. How many people are calling?
No, I mean like in Tennessee. I'm saying.
But I know they play in Nashville.
Well, they still have a radio station.
Yeah, but still, I don't think it's going to be as like in New York if Mark Sanchez were to be awful.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? I don't think those people were that excited. But Tennessee is awful, and Detroit. I mean, after all those years of being horrible, it's finally good. So they should win this game.
So pick Detroit on a slim cover on the road. Caution there, Detroit is not historically a good road team. I didn't think Stafford looked great last week, so is he going to improve?
Yeah.
San Francisco's good.
Yeah, San Francisco has a great defense. Tennessee does not. I mean, they can't get pressure on the quarterback. Philip Rivers just sat back and did whatever he wanted last week. Brady was great the first week. They stink.
Yeah.
Stafford's a good quarterback, so I think he should have success.
Okay, so there you have your first combined pick for week 3. Now for your second combined pick, presented by Big B.
All right, for the second combined pick, we were going to take Indy, -3. They're at home versus the Jaguars. Some of the notes I have, the Jaguars basically don't have an offense except for Maurice Jones-Drew. Gabbert threw for 53 yards last week, which is very impressive. They are the 32nd overall ranked offense this year, and also I looked it up last year. They were 32 out of 32 teams in total offense.
That's bad.
Yeah, so they have no offense at all. I also wrote down here that Indy has held the last 2 weeks. Their run defense has held Matt Forte, and Adrian Peterson, 2 of the top 5 running backs in the league, to only 120 yards in 2 games. I think that's very good. I think they'll be able to. I think they'll be able to at least contain Maurice Jones-Drew. Plus the fact that's all they really have. And I think Andrew Luck really played well last week. I mean, he showed some moxie coming back, leading that drive. I just think playing at home again, and honestly, this is just basically me saying how bad the Jaguars are. I just think that they're going to win, and I think -3 is a low spread, and I don't think the Jaguars are going to win many games this year, honestly.
No, they might be the worst team in football.
Yeah, they might win 2 or 3 games this year. Anyway, for all those reasons, I'm going to take Indy, go with Andrew Luck again, 2 weeks in a row, -3. Home dog.
Fantastic. 2 slim covers, both favorites. Put a little bit of a challenge there to cover, but not by a greater than 6 points, which we've said is where you get into the caution area.
Oh yeah, I said home dog. I'm sorry, I meant home favorite.
Home favorite,
Yeah,
right?
Indy's a home favorite.
And Andrew Luck now starting to pick up steam as we wonder what's going on with Cam Newton, which is another story.
Well, well, I just want to say, I mean, just for a rookie quarterback to lead his team with, I think it was 45 seconds left on the clock as tied 20-20, he led his team down to about the 35-yard line to kick the winning field goal. Showed a lot of moxie, and he had a really impressive throw where he ran out of the pocket and threw like 35 yards across his body in tight coverage. He's an impressive quarterback.
Yeah.
And he was the top draft for the year, right?
Yeah, he was the number 1 pick.
And then what was RG3? He was
Second.
2 or 3?
2.
Awesome. Well, yeah. So the rookie quarterback, second week in a row picking the rookie quarterback, and he came through last week for us.
Yeah, this is
All right.
a home game.
Right. So 2 solid picks for week 3, combined picks, and now, ladies and gentlemen, a word from week 3 Big Pick 4 sponsor. Cut. And we're back for the second half of Big Pick 4 Week 3 show, which brings us to the segment of the show that you've all been waiting for, which is the guarantees, starting with the big Danny D guarantee for Week 3.
All right. My big D guarantee is Houston -1 at Denver.
That's right, folks. Your NFL 2012-13 Love Train. Come on now. Running Love Train.
Single. He's single.
Yeah, who would have thought that Houston would be a love train someday? You know, after years of being off.
Really?
Houston has a solid all-around team. I think I mentioned this before, that I just like what they're doing over there. Their offense, defense, special teams, everything is solid. Manning, quite honestly, did not look like to be full strength during that Monday night game at all. A lot of his passes were wobbly. He couldn't get the ball down the field very well. I got a stat here that he is 0 for 5 with 3 interceptions on balls that are thrown 20 yards or more in the air. He just can't get it to the receivers downfield right now. Maybe 5, 6, 7 weeks from now he'll be better, but at this point it looks like he's still going to struggle. He's obviously not at full strength. These are not your father's Texans. I mean, these guys actually play well, unlike the old teams, which are just awful. Denver's looks confused on offense and defense lately. I think it's all new systems with new players. They don't really know what's going on, especially on offense. Yeah, as I said, Manning has that weak arm right now because he's not full strength. The Texans are only allowing 8.5 points a game in the first 2 games. They've been remarkable. And Wade Phillips, he's a total bungler as a head coach. He's an excellent defensive coordinator, and he's really turned that team around. For all those reasons, I'm taking Houston at Denver. And it's probably a decent upset. I mean, Denver used to be a great home team, but not anymore. And Houston is a better team, and they should win this game.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too that
and it's a low spread too. It's only 1.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too you might want to add a little 2 cents. I think that Houston sees this as a challenge game, so they're going to play up for this.
Yeah.
Because this is their first real test of the year.
Yeah, they play 2 scrub teams.
Yeah, so I think they're going to bring their A game too. I think they're going to be on.
And they probably watched that Atlanta footage, and they could see that Manning was confused by some of the coverages that Atlanta ran. Their defense is more set up to do that because they run a 3-4, so they can probably do 4 things with.
They're probably gonna change at the last minute as Manning goes up to the line of scrimmage. They're probably gonna move defensive players around to confuse them. Yeah. I think we might be able to ride the Texans for a while.
Yeah, especially when they have division games, because that division stinks.
Yeah, that's a good call too.
And they just, someone said, I think you mentioned that, someone said the division should be over by like Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just the only thing that I'm cautious on with that pick is that these Vegas trap lines come up, where it's with the blowout of last week. Why would the Texans be a -1? It almost seems like one of those trap lines.
Well, because I think
we'll see what happens.
They haven't played anybody yet, so I think Vegas wants to be cautious until they really see the Texans prove themselves.
That's true. They haven't played any real competition yet.
Realistically, they are the better team. They are better than Denver, and in the end, I think that's going to come through when you see with the total team effort that they can put forward. Whereas Denver, I don't think they're that impressive. I mean, I know they beat the Steelers, but that was on a lucky play. They could have lost that game too. If Roethlisberger throws a better pass at the end of that game. So I really don't see it right now in Denver. I mean, they could prove me wrong.
I mean, I think the key is what Dan said earlier, is they're just a very well-balanced team. They're going to be able to run the ball, and if they can't run the ball, they're going to be able to pass the ball. They can do every facet of the game.
Look at Michael Turner. He's no hero, and he ran for 130 yards against them.
So
Foster's still in his prime. He should be able to gash him.
Yeah, he's a beast.
And Schaub is a better quarterback than Matt Ryan, I think. Yeah. Matt Ryan played very well in that game. So for all those reasons, I think Texans should roll in this game. I think they're on a mission. Yeah. They're on a mission to prove that they're the best. If they felt that last year, if Schaub hadn't gotten hurt, they would have gone to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they want to be up there.
And I think that's where they want to be.
They want to be up there with the Patriots and the Steelers. They want to, because no one takes them seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think they do now.
So your love-trained Texans taking on the no-huddle Peyton Manning machine and Willis McGahee. He's doing pretty well.
Yeah, but they're still there. It's
going to be exciting. So let's have your premier namesake of Big Pick 4, Big B, guarantee. He has not lost yet this season, folks.
Yeah, so I have not lost. Now, come on, man. All right. Hey, so my Big B, I don't have many stats here. This is more of a gut pick. I'm going to go back to my big gut. It's a big one. I'm going to go Washington -3 at home versus Cincinnati. I like what I think it was Dan and maybe one of the analysts brought up on week 1 that teams, even underdogs, in this case they're not an underdog, but teams get up for their home opener. I mean, this is RG3's home opener. He's excited. I just think he's going to come out. I just think he's going to play and will the Redskins to a win. I think he's going to scramble. I think he's going to do whatever it takes to win the game. Some of the notes that I did take down here were the Redskins. I know they lost a couple key players on defense, but they are getting Brandon Merriweather back, who's a key part of their secondary. I also put down here that Cincinnati in the last 2 games has given up 41 points to the Baltimore Ravens and 27 points to the stinky Cleveland Browns.
That was awful.
So I don't think Cincinnati's defense is very good this year. They lost their leading tackler from last year, Thomas Howard. He's gone, and they also lost Jamal Anderson for the year, who was their starting defensive end. I think basically, and also I have here, which is an interesting stat. If we had our nugget of the week, this would be it. That the Redskins are 5-0 in their last 5 home openers. But basically, the stats don't really tilt in the Redskins' favor. But I just think that it's going to be RG3's show. I think he wants to show the fans why they gave up all those draft picks for him. And I think he's going to play out of his mind.
And the crowd. I think the crowd's important, too.
The crowd's important.
Going crazy in that game.
They love him. Yeah, they're going to be sold out. It's going to be hard for the Cincinnati Bengals, for the quarterback to make calls like audibles and stuff. So anyway, for those reasons, that's going to be my big B. I also thought maybe make my brother a little happy because he was a Redskins fan. Are you still a Redskins fan?
That's right, folks. Yeah, no. Now I'm a Tampa fan because I'm in Tampa. Yeah.
They're gonna get killed.
But by the way. Yeah, is that Jim Zorn's legacy, that he wins his home openers? The genius. Coaching.
That's like Marty Morningweg's legacy was giving up the coin toss in overtime.
Yeah, that was awful.
We're going to give up the ball.
We're going to give them the ball.
That was before you even got a touch if the other team scored.
Right, yeah.
That's right. So he just watched his team lose without ever getting the ball.
Yeah, that's what they say. Once a lion, always a lion.
Yeah. Well, and who was it that called 2 timeouts in a row? Was that
Shanahan? Or
no, that was
Joe Gibbs did it. He didn't know the rule.
Gibbs version 2. Yeah, Gibbs v 2.0.
Yeah, and he also called a timeout to ice a kicker at a certain point. I think at a certain point in the clock you can't do it, and he got a penalty for that. And they made their kick like 5 yards closer, and the other team won the game.
Awesome. So there you have it, folks. Your guarantees for Week 3 are your Texans and your Redskins. That's a historic first for the show, I believe, the Redskins being a guarantee.
Yeah.
So, the Nationals are in the playoffs. The Redskins are coming up on guaranteed picks. So, I think I left DC too soon.
They might get the PKO kiss of death.
Yeah. No, that's the Howard Eskin Stone Cold
Mortal Lock of death.
Stone Cold Mortal Lock. Yeah, we don't use, me and Dan, from the day one, we don't use Stone Cold Mortal Lock because Howard Eskin, a sports reporter here in Philly, has ruined it. He'll say that the Phillies aren't going to win the World Series, and that year they won the World Series. Yeah, Stone Cold Mortal Lock, the Phillies aren't going to win the World Series, they fucking won the World Series. Or the one year he's like, Stone Cold Mortal Lock, the Eagles won't trade for a wide receiver. A week later, they traded and got Dante Stallworth.
Yeah, he's always wrong.
Yeah, so we don't.
He ruined the saying.
Yeah, he ruined it.
Yeah.
All right, so now we have our final segment, which is our Week 3 man violation. Now, there is a trophy also at the end of the season, is there not, for the...
Well, it's more of a... I think I kind of ruined the dynamic of it because it's more of a rule, but this guy I had to bring his name up. But I'm actually, this week, too, isn't going to be a rule either. It's just going to be a person. But I'm going to start to get back to the man violations as rules. So this week is going to be another exception. I'm not going to do a violation. I'm going to do a person as a violation. This week...
I kind of like the personal attacks better than the general.
Well, I still think some of the man violations are funny, like Dan's uncle wears capri pants.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't
wear them anymore?
No, he doesn't.
All right. So this week, the man violation is going to be Jay Cutler of the Chicago Bears for whining. Not only did he whine and yell at his players, he pushed one of his own tackles, and all week, the experts on ESPN and NFL Network have killed Jay Cutler. Ex-players have said that if that happened to them on camera, that they would have punched him right in the face, right there in that moment, square, that you can't do that. And not only that, it's a horrible leadership, but not only that, he never blames himself. He had 2 picks. None of those offensive tackles or anybody else yelled at Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler's a whiny baby. And you know why he's never going to win the Super Bowl? Because he doesn't have moxie. He's a whiny little baby. And there was one a couple years ago, they played the Eagles, and the ref made a bad call, and he whined to the ref. You don't do that. He's not a man. He doesn't have the moxie. He's a whine. Anything that happens in the game is somebody else's fault. He blames other people. He never, not once on that press conference did he say, it's my fault, I did this wrong. He blamed the offensive line for not protecting him. So for this week, he is my man violation. I'm calling him out.
Well, and wasn't he this week also the one who made the comment about the renter refs also?
Joe Flacco.
Oh, that was Flacco that did that, right? Okay. Right.
No, that was pretty bad too. But I think I picked the right man violation this week. Jay Cutler does it a lot, and it's not the first time he's done that too.
Yeah, you can't throw your teammates under the bus if you're the quarterback.
Right, and you got to take some responsibility for your actions too. He never, and nobody else on that team yelled at him when he threw interceptions. No. Nobody cried when he threw 2 interceptions, right?
Yeah.
No one cried to him.
Yeah, he was.
And you can't push. You cannot push your own teammate like that. Disrespect him like that.
Yeah, you can't do that.
So there you have it, folks.
Your week 3 man violation, Jay Cutler. Okay, say hi, Tecumseh.
Hi. What's up, Tecumseh?
That's Tecumseh. So there you have it. Okay, so your week 3 recap for Big Pick 4. Any overall comments?
Yeah, I actually do have a comment. We picked 2 rookie quarterbacks to win.
Yeah, no one to
right.
pick.
2 rookie quarterbacks, all slim covers on the favorites, a split between away and home. Your big O is the Colts for the second week in a row. I mean, the Jags stink.
Yeah,
it's like Brian Smith.
Yeah.
Last year they had the 32nd ranked offense. 32nd, the worst offense in the league.
Yeah, and again this year.
The Colts at home, the Jags stink, and it's it's not like the Colts are an underdog or something where I'd be saying, oh, what does Vegas know that we don't know? That's a trap. But no, it's just a basic 3-point cover. I'm loving that pick all the way.
All right.
And your guarantees are the Texans and the Redskins. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, go out and pawn items that are necessities in the household, because you're going to win. You're going to be able to get these things out of Hawk in no time. You're going to pawn the items on Friday. You'll have them back by Monday, and you have some money in your pocket. It doesn't matter if it's an oxygen tank, something that you need, for light. Fire extinguishers, oxygen tanks. Just pawn it all. You're going to get back Monday anyway.
Yeah, because the program's awesome.
Yeah, because you're going to win.
Yeah.
If you know you're going to win, it ain't gambling. So go out, place your bets, and
score with Big Pick 4.
Yes.
Finally, after 4 hours.
Finally, we have a show. Yay.
Yay.
I hope you like our new studio. Hopefully we'll have another new studio.
Yeah.
For week 4 show.
At least we know.
Hey, you just gotta win. If we're winning all the time, then we're gonna get bigger sponsors, and it's gonna look like ESPN before too long.